The U.S. may soon welcome some Palestinians from Gaza as refugees.
The Biden administration is considering a plan to allow some Palestinian refugees to come here to the United States.
CBS News has obtained internal documents showing senior Biden administration officials have discussed several options.
According to the plan, some Palestinians fleeing the war would be offered a permanent safe haven here in the U.S. And one option under consideration is to allow those who have immediate family members who are either American citizens or permanent residents to enter the country if they pass various background checks first.
In the last fiscal year, the U.S. resettled 60,000 refugees from around the world. Just 56 were Palestinian.
The plans would require coordination with Egypt, which has so far refused to allow large numbers of people from Gaza to cross the border into that country.
Developing news overnight that the White House is considering accepting some Palestinians from Gaza as refugees amid the Israel-Hamas war to come here to the United States. People from Gaza who pass a series of eligibility and medical and security screenings, they would qualify to fly to the United States with refugee status. This coming out today, May 1st, 2024. Now let me know your thoughts, because this comes amid all of the protests taking place across universities in the United States. Campus protests, arrests. Here's a map of all of them since April 18th, and you can see from the East Coast to the West, universities, protesters, arrests taking place. We've been seeing vandalism taking place at various universities, Jewish students being harassed on campuses, not being able to walk to their classes, and also various statues and monuments being defaced at various universities. Here's a statue of George Washington covered in stickers and the Palestinian flag. Now, to see more of the protests and what has been going on, stick around to the end. I've got some updates on that, but let me get you caught up on the latest, as we're hearing the Biden administration is preparing to bring over those from Gaza to the United States. Now, before we dive in, do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, take a second, hit the like button. I appreciate the support, keeping you up to date on everything. Also, everything is cited, linked in the description below. And also, to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. But with that being said, let's take a look at the latest coming out overnight, as we're hearing the Biden administration is preparing to bring over refugees from Gaza amid the Israel-Hamas war. All right, so link in the description below to this article that just came out today that says the White House is considering accepting some Palestinians from Gaza as refugees amid the Israel-Hamas war. And it says the Biden administration is considering welcoming certain Palestinians to the U.S. as refugees as they seek to escape the war-torn Gaza amid the ongoing war in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas. Senior officials across several federal U.S. agencies have discussed in recent weeks the details of potential options to accept Palestinians from Gaza who have immediate family members who are American citizens or permanent U.S. residents, internal federal government documents show, according to CBS News. One proposal involves using the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program to bring Palestinians with U.S. connections who have escaped Gaza and entered neighboring Egypt, the documents revealed. U.S. officials have also considered welcoming additional Palestinians out of Gaza and are processing them as refugees if they have American relatives, according to the documents. This proposal would have to rely on coordination with Egypt, which has thus far been reluctant to welcome large numbers of people from Gaza. We've seen some of these neighboring countries saying they will refuse to accept refugees from Gaza. The Biden administration now saying we will fly them to the United States. People from Gaza who pass a series of eligibility, medical, and security screenings would qualify to be flown to the U.S. with refugee status, which includes permanent residency, resettlement benefits like housing assistance, and a path to American citizenship. The number of people eligible is expected to be relatively small, but the proposed plan could provide a lifeline to some Palestinians seeking to escape the Israel-Hamas war. This, as the Hamas-run government's health ministry estimates more than 34,000 have passed, more than 77,000 injured, and hundreds of thousands of civilians displaced in Gaza. Hamas groups launched a surprise attack on Israel on October 7th, ending the lives of 1,200 people, prompting military retaliation from Israel's forces. Hamas also kidnapped more than 200 people, with many of them still in captivity. Since the beginning of the conflict, the United States has helped more than 1,800 American citizens and their families leave Gaza, many of whom have come to the United States. A White House spokesperson told Fox News Digital, "At President Biden's direction, we also have helped and will continue to help some particularly vulnerable individuals, such as children with serious health problems problems, and children who were receiving treatment for cancer get out of the harm's way and receive care at nearby hospitals in the region. The United States also continues to be the largest contributor of humanitarian assistance to Gaza to address the dire conditions, and we are pressing hard to get more urgently needed aid into more people as soon as possible, the spokesperson continued. We have also been clear and consistent. The United States categorically rejects any actions leading to the forced relocation of Palestinians from Gaza or the West Bank or the redrawing of the borders of Gaza. The best path forward is to achieve a sustained ceasefire through a hostage deal that will stabilize the situation and pave the way to a two-state solution. The proposals also come after President Biden issued a memorandum on deferred enforced departure in February for certain Palestinians who were already in the U.S. The plan to bring certain Palestinians to the U.S. as refugees would represent a shift in long-standing U.S. government policies and practices, as the U.S. refugee program has not resettled Palestinians in large numbers since its inception in 1980. In the past decade, the U.S. has resettled more than 400,000 refugees fleeing violence and war across the world, but less than 600 were Palestinians. In the fiscal year 2023, the U.S. accepted 56 Palestinian refugees out of the more than 60,000 refugees resettled during the last 12-month span, according to data from the State Department. For applicants to qualify to enter the U.S. as a refugee, they must prove that they are fleeing persecution based on certain factors such as nationality, religion, or political views. The administration's plans to welcome Palestinian refugees, even if a small number, could lead to criticism from Republican lawmakers who look to make the illegal immigration crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border a central issue ahead of the November elections. Shortly after Hamas's attack on Israel on October 7th, top Republicans said that the U.S. should not welcome Palestinian refugees, claiming that they are anti-Semitic and potential national security risks. Now, this comes as we've also heard these warnings from the FBI of potential attacks here on U.S. soil. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, the Biden administration in recent years has dramatically increased refugee settlements. Officials have established a goal of accepting up to 125,000 refugees in fiscal year 2024, which ends at the end of September. The refugee resettlement was cut to record lows during the Trump administration. So is this something that the Biden administration should be doing? Is this a good thing or is it not to bring refugees from Gaza to the United States? And this comes amid all of the protests taking place around the nation as pro-Palestinian protests have erupted on college campuses nationwide. Protesters, including students and faculty, they have been arrested. The protests grew after an encampment on a campus in Columbia University in New York City led to the arrest of more than 100 protesters on April 18th. This has been going on for quite some time and it is just intensifying. Since then, more than 1,000 people have been arrested on colleges and university campuses from coast to coast as schools prepare for spring commencement ceremonies. The University of Southern California, where nearly 100 protesters were arrested on April 24th, canceled its primary commencement event. Protesters have been arrested on more than 25 campuses across at least 21 states. Many other schools have experienced protests without arrests. Now, the protest demands vary from campus to campus, but a major focus is that universities divest from companies with financial ties to Israel amid its war with Hamas. There have also been counter-protests resulting in clashes at UCLA on Sunday, and we've seen tons of clashes between protesters and police. Now, to see the latest on that, be sure to check out this video right here as I covered it in detail. I shared with you the video footage so that way you can see everything that's going on. And again, let me know your thoughts about transporting refugees from Gaza to the United States. And as more comes out on this, I'll be sure to keep you up to date, but that is the latest coming out just overnight. And with that being said, thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.